Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Intro music.
Okay, a quick bit of a disclaimer. These are just my personal opinions. They don't have to be yours. So please keep that in mind, and thanks, guys.
Hey everyone, now today I thought we would do something a little bit different. It's more of a discussion time. Nothing really that special, but I think the topic is quite interesting. I want to try to start doing more of these discussion time videos, so if you really like it, please leave a comment and a like. I really like these sort of videos because a lot of times I'll just go into random tangents in like the shower or something, talking about something, and I thought, why not do a YouTube video off of it? But today is a very interesting topic because I'm able to relate to it quite well right now, and that is faking injuries. So for a little context, for people who don't know me, which most of my subscribers on my channel know me personally, or something at least about me, but I thought I'd explain a little bit. So back in 6th grade, I had hip surgery. It's a long story. I fell, dislocated my hip, walked on it for a year, then it deformed, fell again, and it slipped down further, and then they had to pin it. So I was on crutches for about 8 weeks with that. And so when I got back to school, I was like basically constantly ridiculed and harassed for faking an injury. And the fact was, the thing was, it wasn't. And it was really discouraging for me and kind of be like, hey, I'm actually injured and I have actual x-rays and yeah, and all this other stuff, and I'm apparently faking an injury. And that's just kind of, yeah, it's really discouraging that people would say you're faking something when it's like you're not. And then they wanted evidence that I wasn't faking. And that's kind of hard, because it's like, not like I can just like pull down my pants in the middle of the school and show you my surgery scar, which is quite high up on my leg because that's where my hip is. Like, I can't do that, so I don't know how you want me to prove it besides printing a photo of my x-ray on a t-shirt or something. So, but I didn't have a cast because the fact you can't put a cast on your hip because you have to move it to sit down and stand up, which you can do, but the problem was I couldn't put weight on it. So that just caused quite a bit of stuff to happen because they're like, oh, you could sit down, you can put a weight on it, and it's like, that's a little bit different because where you put weight on it. When you walk on it, you put weights in different spots, and it does more of the joint when you walk than when you sit because the weight is evenly distributed among, yeah, it's weird. It's a weird thing, and I just didn't know how to explain it. Was just doing what I was told, and that was to not put weight on it and to use these things that I legit will say are from hell, because that's my feelings towards them. But that happened so long ago, and I just know I was bullied and harassed for it, and I wasn't faking. And so, you notice the crutches, I'm injured again. This time I stepped in a pothole and stepped really wrong, and still don't know what's gonna happen, still don't know what it is. Doctor said one of two choices. Either I basically took a chunk of bone off of somewhere, they don't know where yet because we haven't gotten any results back from the MRI that I had yesterday, but on the x-rays it shows a little piece of bone that shows up on x-rays. That's what you see on x-rays is bone. A little piece of bone that's just coming from nowhere. And they're like, yeah, that's not supposed to be there. Either you were born with it like that, or you took a chunk of bone off. And it's like, okay. And then my mom gives them this look of, oh shoot. And they say, or it could just be a torn ligament if she was born with it. And so, I mean, those were the two options. The only thing about that is I've had an x-ray taken on my right ankle, and my mom had already moved down here for work and it wasn't there. I haven't really expressed that to my mom, but that's kind of where we're getting into today's video. Is kind of the reason I'm making this video was because of a conversation I had with my mother today, and it was quite interesting. My mom asked me if I'm just waiting for the doctor to say it's okay to put weight on it, and it's like, I didn't really say anything back because it kind of hurt. It kind of just hit you, like, do you think I'm faking, or like, what do you think? Because I just, with my past, I was ridiculed and harassed for it earlier, that I'm just really kind of like, you know, been hurt by it, so I'm a little bit more sensitive to it, and it kind of just hurts when your own mother says something like that. And this is, I didn't ask, do you think I'm faking, or like, I didn't do that, but it was just kind of like something that stood out, because it's like, I'm just doing what I was told by the doctors, because it's just what I do. If a doctor told me, hey, you need to be on crutches for 10 weeks, then yeah, I'm gonna do what they say and not put weight on something for 10 weeks. So really, it's just doing what I'm told. And it just kind of brought me to the topic of people who think other people are kind of faking injuries, and people who will fake injuries to get out of stuff. I really just think this isn't a really talked enough about topic, because of the fact that it doesn't really happen too often. But faking injuries happens kind of all the time. People call out sick for work all the time. And it's just kind of talking about what is okay to fake in certain circumstances and what you shouldn't. Like, yeah. And I thought that would be an interesting topic for this video today, so let's get into it. So really, I personally don't think faking injuries should ever be a thing, because the fact I've been constantly accused of faking injuries, and not just for stuff that when I was on crutches. I've gotten a concussion before from ice skating. I'm a figure skater. That's what I do. I was doing a spin. I fell off balance. I hit my head on the ground on ice really, really hard, because my dad was across the ice rink and could hear it. It was really loud. I slammed my head down on the ice. And I had my hair down, and I had my hair up, so there was like barely anything protecting it down there. So I hit my head, and I got a concussion. And it's not like when you get a concussion and you're playing basketball or you're at football. No one watched me get this concussion except my coach's daughter Cadence, Lily, my friend who didn't go to my school, and then my dad, who didn't even witness it, but everybody else at the ice rink did, because they were around me, and a lot of other people that I just don't know their names, I didn't really know very well, but they were still there. And I had to sit out for a little bit, because it's like you can't participate in something when you get a concussion. And I was constantly bullied by people saying I was faking it. And then my mom was just like, oh, you don't need to do that. And it's like, no, I don't like to sit out for stuff. I'm that type of person who will push myself to the absolute limit before sitting out. If I can't breathe, that's a problem. I would like to breathe. So if I'm running and I start not being able to breathe because I'm sick, yeah, I'm gonna take a second and I'm gonna catch my breath. Because that's happened. Yeah, it does. I hope that's okay to do. But you know, when it comes down to a concussion and you've got a doctor's note and you've gone to the doctor and there's like, yeah, you've got a mild concussion, you gotta sit out for a bit, you can't do physical activity like gym class, so you have to sit out. And it was just like, okay, I'll sit out. I wasn't happy about it, no, but it just happened and I had to do it because that's what the doctor said. And you know, kind of have to follow what your doctors say, because you don't have a medical degree, so you don't know what's going on. So I just follow what the doctor says. Even if I don't think it's right, like, I'll still do it. But a lot of people would say that I was faking stuff, and I wasn't. So that was just thinking that people are faking because they don't have proof is really kind of something that society will do so often. Strangers will just like judge you. And I read like a pretty good article, and it was this 21-year-old who has this cane because they have a chronic illness and a lot of chronic pain caused by this illness that they have to use a cane. And it's not like they look injured, they don't really. But it's on the inside, it's what's hurting them, and strangers don't know what your pain is. So why do we judge other people? Like, I don't know if you're faking a headache or not, but you say you have a headache, so it's like, okay, I'll be quiet. It's like when someone says they're injured, you just say, okay. And if they need help, you help them. It's really that simple, and I feel society just judges people so much. And it's just really discouraging. Like, I've gotten weird looks in public when I was even limping around. It's like, oh, you're a healthy teenager, nothing can be wrong with you. And it's like, no, I'm having an incredible amount of pain and it hurts to walk. Like, it's really difficult to try to explain that to people because they can't feel what the pain you're going through. And society itself really is judgmental. And I feel it's something that we, as society, can work on. It's not being as just judgmental towards everybody, not just people you think are faking injuries, but everybody. A lot of times people, and this is a kind of a different topic that I can go on a tangent later, but I'll use it as an example. But even like people with mental illnesses, a lot of times you can't tell if someone has a mental illness. I have a mental illness and a lot of people can't tell that I have it. It's in here. It's not like something on the outside. It's not like if I'm in a wheelchair, you know I'm disabled. I have a mental disability. You just can't see it. And there's not much you can do about it. People are gonna treat you like they treat you like everybody else, but you're not like everybody else. If you'd like me to do a conversation on that, I would be happy to do that next. But moving on to this topic, one thing that makes it really difficult for other people is that there's a lot of people who will fake it to get the benefits. Like, there are tons of videos on YouTube of how to make a fake cast. And it's like, you're just seeking attention at that point. I don't want attention from using these, but I use them because my doctor told me I'm not supposed to put weight on this. And people are like, oh, you've got a walking boot, you can put weight on it. And it's like, no, that's not what my doctor said. My doctor said this is to make sure you don't hurt anything else, and it keeps it at a nice 90-degree angle so you don't mess anything up. So just because I have a walking boot doesn't mean that I'm allowed to put weight on it, that I'm allowed to walk in it. It just means I have a walking boot, which provides a lot better protection than just going around with a ace bandage or a sock. And it's just really annoying that people think that people make those assumptions. And it's like, no, I know you don't have a medical degree, so please don't tell me what you think. And a lot of times I've met a lot of parents who are guilty of that and think they have medical degrees. And it's like, no, I know you're a mom, I know you've been through a lot, so is my mom. I work with toddlers, but it's not like I'm gonna start saying, oh, your child is mentally retarded or something like that. It's like, no, you don't go around saying that. Just like you don't go around saying, oh, you just sprained your ankle, you can put weight on it. It's like, no. ER told me not to do it. Orthopedic told me not to do it. I'm not doing it. And I mean, that's just, again, a whole nother topic, is parents with injuries. There's a lot of topics that can kind of branch off from this video. But really what I want to focus on is other people who are faking things, and then they get caught, and then they send a bad rep for a lot of other people. A lot of people are attention seeking and will fake injuries to get attention or to get out of something. And I mean, people do that, but I mean, you then send a bad message about people who are actually injured to everybody else that they're just faking. And I mean, I wasn't popular either, so I didn't really have any backup for it. It's not like I had a whole group of friends who would back me up. No, I didn't really have very many friends, and the friends that I had weren't that good of friends because they would argue about who was gonna go dump my lunch tray. You have to use 2 hands to walk with these. It's not like I can carry things myself. I can't. And when I do, I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to walk a certain way so I don't damage my shoulders and my armpits and my upper body. If you walk in them without the right technique, you could end up damaging your upper body. And that's just what happens. So when you ask me to carry something, you could potentially be damaging my muscles more than your own. And that's just, I try, and I could also potentially hurt myself trying to carry something with one hand and walk at the same time. There could be water, and crutches with water and hard floor do not mix. When it rains and your school has tile, hard floor, and really, really smooth concrete, you slip all the time. I've only been on these things for about 3 weeks now. Yeah, 3 weeks. And I've fallen a good like 5 or 6 times. That's just how it is. But if I don't fall, but if I have something in my hand, there's a certain technique you use for falling correctly when you have an injury. When I had my hip surgery, I would fall on this side of my body, not my right. This side, so all the pressure would go there. There's a certain technique. Now when I fall, I again put all my weight on this side of my body, and I make sure that I try to keep this close to my chest so I can fall on my side or something. So there's a certain technique you use, and it depends on where you're falling from, how you're falling, and what you're doing. But I try to keep this leg from getting any pressure when I fall. If I do fall, I try to keep my leg back so I can fall onto my knee, so I don't affect anything. But when it comes down to it, a lot of times you could hurt yourself even more when you have something in your hand because you're not able to use the correct technique when falling. That lunch tray could end up hurting me more because I could slip, it goes up, I could fall, and then it can land on my head or something. Or I could hit someone with something. There's a lot of things that can happen if I try to do that. It's not that I'm choosing to be lazy and that I can't do it, because I can always try. It's just it's just a big risk to be taking for something so small and simple that you can be doing for me to help me out. And then people who fake injuries, please just don't do it. No one really ever appreciates when someone fakes injuries. But really, when someone is faking injuries, it kind of sounds like almost a cry for help. That you need attention and you need help and you need love or something like that. And it just sends out this kind of cry to help, because I've also been in a similar situation where I was seeking out attention because I needed help. And there was nothing I could do except make bad choices and get into trouble. And that was what I was trying to do to get help. So that being said, please, if you're gonna fake an injury, just don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not fun. Walking around these is not fun at all. You'd be surprised by how few people help you. You're not just, it's not all about seeking attention. I guess it just also depends on how popular you are, how many friends you have, but it's not worth it. You're gonna end up doing something to your body if you spend too much time not putting weight on something, or you make a fake cast. You could do it wrong and you could cut off circulation to your foot or somewhere else, your arm, and it's not worth it. Please don't do it. But that wraps us up. Well, that wraps up today's video. I hope you guys kind of enjoyed this more serious toned topic video, and I kind of want to do more of these, so I'll probably find more of a different recording space, and I think I might become a more opinionated YouTube channel, because I think a lot of times this stuff should be discussed. I just think it should be talked about. So I think I probably will start doing that. I think that would be a great idea, and I think today's topic in general is a great way to start off a series. So I think I'm going to start a new series, guys. If you like that, or if you have any other ideas, make sure to comment down below. Leave a like for me if you want to, and share this video out to your friends. I really want to try. My end of year goal this year is to hit 75, and I really want to try to do that if that's a possibility. My goal originally was 100 subscribers, but then, as you know from my last video, a lot of stuff happened and I didn't have any time to post anything, so my channel didn't grow at all. So I really want to try to hit 75, and I know that's like a stretch, especially since I've been at like 55 for a while now. So I really want to try to hit 75 by the end of the year. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was worth your time, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye!